disturbance calls. Just a lot of activity going on out here. A lot of homeless people, a lot of prostitution, just a lot of addiction.
Only on 6, Tulsa police tell us 11th and Garnett is becoming one of the most dangerous areas in the city.
In fact, there were more than 2,000 police calls there last year alone. Officers say lower income motels are contributing factors to the increase in crime.
The people running these hotels are running them in substandard conditions.
The Garnett Inn is made up of 3 buildings. The city says the owner is doing the bare minimum to keep the property in compliance. Last year, the city boarded up one of the buildings, deeming it too unsafe to stay in.
So yesterday they had this screw in this door.
Tulsa police officer Larry Crawford says 24 hours later, officers found squatters inside.
They pull it through the door here so they can pull it back up so it looks like it's secure.
Our cameras rolling as police pulled 3 people from this room, putting them in handcuffs.
One of the people were laying right there and the freaking roof's about to fall on their head.
The packed room falling apart while they use a dangerous space heater to keep it warm.
Here's some drug paraphernalia right here. You know, that's generally what meth comes in right there.
All 3 were cited for illegal trespassing before being allowed to pack up their things and leave. Across the street, the historic Brookshire Motel along Route 66 was built in 1940. Today, the only people staying there are the homeless illegally. The tab passed on to you, the taxpayer.
We've spent probably around $11,000 keeping it secure, and then doesn't count for man hours coming by and checking it.
With numerous fire code violations, the city shut down the Brookshire in 2016. And this is what police are talking about. People will peel this back and then stay inside there and keep some of their personal items in there to stay out of the cold. Officials were working with the owners in the Route 66 Commission to see if any of the Brookshire could be saved before it caught fire last month. Now it's possible it will have to be torn down. The Economy Inn next door was also shut down. The city says the owner was illegally stealing electricity and water and refused to get it back to code. The city has spent more than $2,000 keeping it boarded up. In this video, you can see officers checking a room that had its boarding removed. An even larger problem for police are the properties that are still open.
The people that are managing these properties, if they know that they're having a problem like this, and they need to take action of their own.
Just last year, near 11th and Garnett, police were called to the Motel 6 390 times. The Economy Inn of Tulsa, 314. The Executive Inn, 241. And the Oak Tree Inn, 364 times.
You hear a lot of screaming and stuff like that, you know, it's real bad, yes.
Gary's mom, Brenda, is 66 years old and has called the Oak Tree Inn home for nearly 2 years.
I got stabbed. Some guy on crack was trying to break in the room.
Here at Oak Tree, what kind of problems do you see the most?
We've had robberies, a lot of drug activity, stolen vehicles.
Gary, how often do you see police here?
Every day. They roll through every day.
The manager of the Oak Tree has been on the job for nearly 5 years. I was hoping he would talk to me about what's going on.
And just wondering what your thoughts are on your facility and if you've noticed an increase in crime.
I didn't see anything like that.
I tried again on a different day to press him for answers, but as soon as I walked through the door, he asked me to stop recording.
Motels like this are not meant to be lived in.
No, and I don't think any of them are really designed for, long-term living.
And I reached out to the Oak Tree Inn several times asking if they had a comment for this piece that they know is airing tonight. Ultimately, I was kicked off their property and asked not to return. The next step is homelessness. Tomorrow night at 9 and 10, I'll take you behind the Oak Tree Inn where the homeless have set up a homeless camp. And even though they've been ticketed more than once by the city, they still refuse to leave.